YouTube, DownUnder here, and welcome back to part 2 of I Need Your Help with the Western Town layout. Now today we're going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to show you a couple of different options we've got for the layout of the Western Town. Now I'm shooting last week's video and this video back to back, so I haven't been able to implement any feedback from last week, but this is really just a fact-finding mission for me over this 2-week period to get all your thoughts, get all your ideas, and then we'll start to finally lock down a final layout for the Western Town. Now in the first part of this video, in this first clip, you're going to see I've got the third table in place. I've moved the Indian camp and the river and the fort. I've moved all that down. Now I think that area is pretty solid with my ideas of adding some mountains to there. I think that's all pretty solid. The problem I've got is the Western Town, the town itself. That is where my problem is. How do I lay out these buildings to get the best looking layout, to have a train track, to have all the buildings and all of that? And this is where I really need your help. Now in this first clip I've changed it all up and I think it looks pretty good. It does have a couple of issues, but let's take a look and see what you think. Oh yeah, check that out. This is looking a lot better. So let's start back down this end. I was going to do a walkthrough, but let's just go through a table at a time. So here you can get a bit of a feel what the river will be like. That will just cut straight back on the corner there, so the river will come in that way. Here I will build it around so you can get a bit of idea. If I sort of just push that plate like that, you sort of get an idea that it will shape around and have a lot more space here for the Indian camp. Train track's gone, mountains over there, a couple of tall peaks maybe, and that allowed me to bring the fort right down to here. So that is a lot better. So now we have the Indians and the fort, so the fort can protect the town. And as we go into town, so I've just kind of chucked base plates anywhere just to fill it all in. So on the outskirts of town we have the stables, the livery, and the blacksmith. And first thing in the town will be the train station. So I've kind of gone with the idea, and I still want your input to see what you think. I just moved it all to see how it would look if the train track ran along the back, which means all these buildings came right to the front. So let's just go along and have a look. And I've moved the saloon around, so I'm not sure what I'll do down here. If I had another base plate I would have chucked it in, but I have run completely out. And so this is what I wanted to do. Let's get where the street is so you can look down the main street, and there's the hotel. Now the problem I've got is a lot of buildings are only half a plate wide, and now I've got a few full plate wide buildings. So buildings set on 32 by 32 base plates makes them a little bit harder to fit in. So there's the undertaker and the livery, but it does, I kind of like how this opens up here and you sort of have this bigger area in front of the hotel and the saloon, and then the road going out of town. But I think that is a lot better than how I had it. Certainly a lot better adding that third table. I'm just walking backwards here, so bear with me. I need to get a few more plates. I actually thought my Big W still had quite a few tan plates, and I went in and they only had one left. So they've retired that colour now, so I'm going to have to go on to Bricklink and just order a few, so I've got a few backups. But I think that's a lot better, a lot more room for expansion. Let me know what you think down in the comments. So what do you reckon about that? It certainly looks a lot better than the first layout, doesn't it? But it still has a couple of little issues. What stands out for me is it locks me into having the train track along the back. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not sure. And also having the buildings right along the front of the table. I'm not sure about that option either. So I wonder what it would look like if I changed it up a little bit. Well, let's find out, shall we? So here we are with our second option. Changed it up quite a bit again. Now the big change here obviously is I moved the Undertaker down from up there, brought that down. That allowed me to push this row of buildings back one or half a plate basically. Now that has opened up again the option of running the train track either along the back or along the front. Now I'm still not convinced how that would look. Well, let's grab a little bit of track and let's just put it into place and see how that goes. Let's just put that in there like that. Let's just sit it there and let's take a look how that would look along the front. That's actually not too bad. Probably a little bit obstructing to the buildings, but it doesn't look too bad at all. Let's put this at the back and see how that looks. Let's just put that down in there and take a look at that. Yeah, well, that's probably a little bit better. I don't know, what do you guys think? Having it along the back. The big issue I think with this, what I liked in the last layout, is how open the road was. This has narrowed it up a little bit, and by going in the middle of the road here, the hotel's no longer centered in the middle of the road. And it doesn't have to be perfectly centered, so it's a little bit off chops there. What else? I don't know. What do you guys think about this layout? What options have I got here? I guess the big thing now for me is to lock down this train track. I need to make a decision, so help me with that. Front or back? What I could do if it stays at the back, and once we settle on what buildings will be going along the front, I could take these off a half plate, and that one's sitting a little bit skewed because it has the logs sticking out the end. I think I'm going to have to change it up just so I can fit things in a little bit better. But instead of having them on a half plate, build them on a full plate, but have some sort of uniform structure to the buildings. Now I don't want to make it too uniform, because back in those days it wasn't, was it? So what I'm thinking is, say I built them on a full plate but had the building 8 to 10 studs back from the front of the plate. That would of course bring the building forward a little bit and open the road up at the back. Now I have to be sure what buildings that's going to be for, because that would only work for the buildings along the front. These buildings along the back have to stay on half plates to keep that road nice and wide. Now if we did that, we might be able to move these buildings across, say again to the 8 to 10 studs, something like that, depending what we go with, and that would just open it up a little bit more. Oh, geez, I don't know. There's a lot that goes into a layout like this, isn't there? Lots to think about, and that's why I'm so happy to have you guys, because you are going to help me finalize this layout. So leave it all below in the comments. What do you think I should be doing with the Western Town? Tell me about the train track, what buildings you like at the front, which ones you want at the back, anything at all that you've got to say. I'd love to hear from you. What buildings are missing from the Western Town? And who's been playing Red Dead Redemption 2? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. Let's get this layout finalized, and then maybe over Christmas I can have a bit more of a play around and we can get it all locked away and do another video and see what we come up with. So again, just want to thank you guys for helping me out, taking the time to watch my videos. A big thank you to you. And of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't be shy. Let us know what you think. Give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.